Alrighty, folks, welcome to another edition of the Healthy Way right here on Love 101 FM, the family station. Today we're talking about the benefits of breastfeeding for both mom and the baby. So, if you've been considering not breastfeeding your new baby, you're probably inundated with information. It's a personal decision only you can make, but the benefits are endless. Yeah, so before you decide, or if you just need reassurance that breast milk is the right choice for you, yeah, let's talk this morning. With us is Dr. Alex Tracy. Hey, Dr. Tracy, how are you?
Oh, hi. Good morning.
Great, good to have you. So, breastfeeding benefits for the baby. The first one, breast milk provides ideal nutrition for babies. Talk to us.
Right. So, breast milk in itself is a combination of all the necessary vitamins and minerals that the baby being need.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, they say that a mother should exclusively breastfeed a baby for the first 6 months of life, right? Usually, the first part of the milk that actually contains what is called colostrum,
Mm-hmm.
which is very important in terms of meeting the baby's nutritional needs. So that first phase of breast milk is actually extremely important. So it's necessary for the mother to breastfeed upon birth of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things that we realize is that breast milk over the years, the research that has been based on breast milk has shown that breast milk also decreases the risk for infection,
Yeah.
whether it be ear infections or respiratory tract infection, and it also actually increases the actual baby's nutritional benefits, such as decreased episodes of obesity,
Mm-hmm.
which may actually come with formula-fed babies. There's also research that shows that there's a lower risk of eczema, asthma, and atopic conditions when compared to an unbreastfed baby.
Ah. So some benefits there, and that's just number one, right? So
Right.
the other one says breast milk contains important antibodies. And when we say antibodies, what are we talking about?
Right. So antibodies actually are what we use to fight against certain diseases in the body. So when a actual disease actually enters the body, the antibodies that are actually created against these diseases
Okay.
would actually fight against these diseases. So it's important for you to actually breastfeed because the baby actually gets these antibodies from the breast to fight against certain illnesses.
Great.
Very common upper respiratory tract infection that you may actually have. Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Bre-
other thing,
yeah, go ahead. Let me hear you. Go ahead.
well, one of the major things that we have actually seen as well is that breast milk decreases the instance of a condition called SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. And that there's still some realms as to how that actually occurs.
Right.
However, they have seen where babies who are breastfed have a lower incidence of SIDS than others.
Mm. All right. Breastfeeding may reduce disease risk. Yeah, and
Mm.
it adds exclusive breastfeeding, meaning that infant receives only breast milk is particularly beneficial. Talk to us.
What were you saying?
No, breastfeeding may reduce disease risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I'm saying that exclusive breastfeeding, meaning that infant receives only breast milk is particularly beneficial.
Right. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is there benefit for the baby, but there's also benefit for the mother,
Yeah.
right? Which we're going on to.
Right.
So one of the major things that persons know is that when you breastfeed, you actually lose weight. You lose weight faster, right?
Yeah.
And it's hormone mediated, and the reason why you lose the weight. But
Mhm.
it also lowers the risk of certain cancers. So it lowers the risk of ovarian cancer, osteoporosis. Some of these things actually have a decrease in your risk when you breastfeed.
Mhm. And mothers who breastfeed, it says, have a lower risk of depression. Postpartum depression is a type of depression that can develop shortly after childbirth.
Well, yes, there's a bond that you have with the baby
Mhm.
when you breastfeed. It actually helps you to calm down, less anxiety with
Mhm.
breastfeeding, right? Some of these things are what actually contributes to the lower risk
Right.
of you have more control in terms of getting the baby to calm down when
Mhm.
you breastfeed.
Right.
Some of these things are what actually lowers the risk of postpartum depression.
Depression. Right. You made mention of cancer, but I'm reading it says women who breastfeed have a lower risk for high blood pressure, arthritis,
Right,
high blood fats, heart disease, type 2 diabetes. Yeah.
right, right. That is so true.
Mhm.
Um, as I told you, there is literature out there that actually shows it, and most of it is one,
Mhm.
it's hormone mediated. Two, less episodes of depression and stress among persons who breastfeed.
Right.
Hence the reason why you have less episodes of hypertension. One of the instances or causes of hypertension is actually stress.
Right.
And the postpartum depression can also lead to psychosis, right? And psychosis is something that you probably wouldn't want among some mother or newborn.
Right.
But then it's not only a strain on the family, but a strain on the baby itself.
Mhm. Yeah, and speaking talking about strain, it saves time and money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. Yes,
so
it does.
that's a good point. So, breastfeeding is mostly free,
Mm-hmm.
barring expenses from, perhaps you have to do some consulting or, pumps and whatever, I don't know. But if you can breastfeed, it's free. So you save money on formula, right?
Right.
And then you perhaps save on how much, your baby needs to drink daily in terms of calculation, and spend time cleaning and sterilizing bottles so you get some time to sleep. you know
Exactly. That is so true. That is so true.
yeah, so it saves
Hmm.
time and money, so
But
that's a
one of
good
the
one.
things that we actually left out of the risk is constipation. Very
Constant.
common
Ah.
among formula fed babies.
Mm-hmm.
What tends to happen is that persons tend to formula feed but do not hydrate after. If you're going to actually
Mm-hmm.
formula feed a child, you have to give water after, right?
Right.
But with breast milk, everything is
It's
the right
packaged.
composition,
Right.
it's the right
Right.
package, so you
It's
have less
packaged.
instance of um, constipation.
Mm-hmm.
However, be aware that you may actually breastfeed a child and he may not pass stool as frequent as a formula fed baby. That's not to worry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the case that for persons who get breast milk or babies who get breast milk, they
Mm.
tend to absorb it more than that of the formula.
The
So
formula. Yeah.
you may actually have a baby for days who may actually be consuming just breast milk, not passing stool, and
Mm-hmm.
you wonder if it's constipation, but it may not be constipation. It
Mm-hmm.
may just be because they're breastfeeding.
And there's no need to worry there, right?
No.
Okay. No need for an alarm. Great. And so let's do a quick recap. What's your takeaway, the benefits? Perhaps someone just joined the conversation. We're talking about the benefits of breastfeeding for both the mother and the baby. What do you want to say as we wrap, Dr. Tracy?
Well, just to know that there are benefits for breastfeeding amongst both the mother and the child, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the child, less instances of illnesses, whether it be chronic or acute illnesses. Via antibodies, you may have a lower risk of infections, with the composition in the breast milk, research has shown that there's a decreased episode of eczema, asthma, atopic illnesses, and be aware that the actual breast milk has the right composition for the baby for the first 6 months in life.
Mhm.
And there may be instances where the baby may not need anything else but just breast milk.
Breast milk.
In terms of the mother, you may actually have a decrease in your weight,
Mhm.
more rapid than that of you exercising alone. And you may also have decreased episodes of postpartum depression,
Yeah.
instances of high blood pressure, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses.
Mhm.
So that's a little recap
Right.
of the benefits. Right?
Very well. How can we find you
But
again?
just to state, though,
Oh.
there are more things to breastfeeding that we may need to discuss.
Mhm.
Some of the myths that may be out there in terms of mothers. They may be thinking whether or not they're producing enough breast milk.
Right.
If they have to eat more in terms of while breastfeeding,
Mhm.
or the different ways that you actually have to hold the baby when you're breastfeeding. So these are some of the things that we may need to look into further.
Right.
As we go
Or you have to rub the backs for them to burp.
Right. So some of these things we have to, and
Yeah.
another important thing is to ensure that the baby is latched on, in quotation, latched on to the breast properly,
Right.
and that is very important because the baby is not latched on to the breast as how the nurse shows you.
Mhm.
It's very important for you to go to that initial 6-week visit so that you get to learn how to latch the baby onto the nipple so that the baby is getting the breast milk effectively. Because if he's not latched on, he may not be getting the breast milk,
Mhm.
and that may lead to dehydration. And then no, the baby may not benefit from the breast milk
From the
as
breast
much.
milk. So we need to talk
Alright.
about that. Yeah. So we'll pick up the
Alright.
conversation some other time on that.
Yes, it's very big.
Yeah. Thank you. How can we find you again, Dr. Tracey?
Okay. So my offices are located at Shop 128, Greater Portmore Shopping Center, and also at 23 Young Street, Spanish Town.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All
Keep
right,
up the
you're-
good work. Keep safe.
Yes, thank you.
Very
You
well.
too.
Thank
Bye.
you. Yeah. Dr. Alex Tracey there. Yeah, the benefits of breastfeeding. That's our conversation today. We'll pick it up again some other time. This is Love 101 FM, and it is the family station.